Grizzly has been one of the worst coasters before. Now that they've retracted the coaster, it's gotten a little bit better. However, the now defunct coasterpoll.com was voted the worst wooden coasters ever. Uh, this clip is from Zombie Face Coasters that I'm going to be using today. So apparently, um, this coaster is not rough anymore. Apparently, when I read it last time, it wasn't really that rough. They did some retracking, I think, back in 2014, and it's still running okay. The problem with many coaster enthusiasts with this coaster is that it is just quite boring. It doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, there's still these funky drops on this coaster. It just doesn't do a whole lot. So, we're gonna get our honest review on this coaster, but technically, I've ridden this in the front row last time, and it was still plain boring. So anywhere you sit, it's still gonna be boring. Even in the back, you might get a little airtime, but you really probably don't. So I don't think you get airtime at all on this coaster. If you sit in the back, middle, or front, doesn't matter where you sit. It's still a boring ride. This is a POV from themepark.net, and this is all I got. So you're gonna usually just take a right-hand turn until you reach the lift hill. I don't think this is going to be a too tall roller coaster. Apparently, at this time of this recording, it is a rough ride, but they did retract the coaster. So as you cross to the top, you will then drop. Usually the height on this coaster is like 91 feet tall, so it's not that high. So you're going to do this swooping drop to the right, and you'll just go up. So at this time of this recording, it seems to be really rough. But now, the last time I rode it was smooth, like a little bit smooth. So, because they did retracking. But over the years, it could get rough unless they do retracking again. So after you do that big turnaround, you will drop again and go over these bunny hops, get a little bit of trying to give you airtime, but you don't really get that airtime. So it doesn't really give you that much. Then you'll do another turnaround, this bank turn in front of the drop tower. This POV is from G Doggy 1678, so I'm just borrowing this clip right now. But you can see it's really shaky, but because this is an old recording, I couldn't find a recent POV from someone to borrow, so this is all I got. But see, usually the ride is just boring, even though it's not that rough before. Like until now, even if it's not rough, it's still bad, and it's not really bad. I meant it's just boring, really boring. Again, this is a Zombie Face Coasters clip that I'm going to use, but it is just quite boring because it's just not that fast. I mean, you just pick up speed through the drops. You don't really get any airtime on this ride. It's kind of useless. But that's why many people are talking about how this coaster should get RMC'd. If this got RMC'd, this is going to be a way better ride. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. But if it did happen and they didn't announce a closure of this park, then they would be able to do it. If they have the money to pay for it, sure, why not? But this ride is just not gonna make it for me. This is really my opinion. I didn't really enjoy it that much. The drops are just fine, I guess, but this is just a classic wooden roller coaster. But that's why they say it's voted one of the worst Woodies, because before it was also rough, not only boring, but really rough. Now that they did some retracking, it got a little bit better. The only problem with the ride is that it's just boring. I wish there's more to it, I know a lot of coasters nowadays do good with airtime and stuff, but this is just an old classic Woody that doesn't really give you airtime. I mean, the old Colossus at Magic Mountain, that one gave you a lot of floater air. That was a really good one. But this one, man, it's not that enjoyable. Sure, the families will still enjoy it, but it's not as much as thrilling for coaster enthusiasts. So I wouldn't say it's really that intense. It's just your classic Woody. So apparently, the score will unfortunately be a low score. It's going to be like a 4. I know I would have rated higher if it was like a more enjoyable ride, but it does seem to be like comfortable or something, but the layout just doesn't do much for me. I mean, the drop is not that steep, it's not that fast. So the only time it does pick up speed, like what I said, if it goes through those drops, it starts to slow down once it gets to the top. So it doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, You know, if there's only something that I can fix this coaster is by turning this into an RMC hybrid. Maybe I would really enjoy this ride more. But if they don't choose to do that, then there's nothing I can do, because they might just end up with a ground up RMC. But I don't even think that these are gonna happen. None of these are gonna happen because they're gonna close very soon. But in regards with the ride experience, nah, it's just pretty boring. So unfortunately, yeah. So that's a low score. So I rated like a 4. So yeah, I wish I could like rate it higher, but like what I said, it's not really a fun coaster that much. But anyway, have you ridden this wooden coaster? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next piece.